what is 5G. So we can talk 5G in just simple three things. It is the next generation without any doubt, but at the same time, what it brings in is enhanced mobile broadband connectivity and ultra low latency but a very reliable communication. So it's very low latency, but ultra reliable communication network. And most important is massive machine type communications is possible in 5G. And that is one area where the smart city is going to immensely benefit. Because the other part of it, which I talked about, low latency and enhanced broadband, it will be an experience later stage, as and when new products will come on top of it, which will make the city more competitive. But massive machine type communication is a necessity today for a smart city. This, people say, why migrate from 4G to 5G? So the peak data rate, though I mentioned 1 Gbps, gigabits per second, it's 10 times faster. Now 10 times faster, you will not get this kind of a speed, but at least you would find that from the existing speed, you would be able to get at least 10 times faster. Because the infrastructure would play a major role. Without a good infrastructure, you cannot have, but there is a peak rate available there. The bandwidth, the data bandwidth 2 Mbps is going to 1 Gbps higher as per the need. And the latency is one of the most important things. So it's talk about 10 millisecond latency. Here is practically zero. There is hardly any latency. So this is where your connected cars, your robots, and all those things will start functioning. 1 millisecond is the latency which we are talking about. The connectivity density, 1 million IoTs are possible per kilometer square. This is where the smart cities will immensely benefit. You need to have, your smart meters, you need to have your cars, you need your traffic management system, your surveillance system, all these things, smart parking system, all of them are going to be having so many IoTs, your smart lighting. So all those need to be connected. Not all of them would be connected. Some of them would use the LoRa network, but you need to have a very high density of IoTs. So that is one critical area. Massive machine type of communication is possible, and then the frequency band was. So why do we require 5G? It's a very interesting statement. In fact, why do you require 4G in the first place? Nobody was prepared for 4G. Nobody, in fact, is prepared for technology at this point of time. So it's very interesting to quote this excellent words from Henry Ford. He actually said that if he had asked people what they wanted, this is in the beginning of the last century, when he was a pioneer in automobile, people would have said horses, because at this point of time, you really don't know what is 5G going to be. And that's more important. So technology brings its own demand. We call necessity is a mother of invention, but here I'm making a different statement. Technology, it brings in its own demand. You bring in 5G, but obviously connected cars will come, factory automation will come, remote services will come, high definition, TV viewing will come through the 5G. A lot of things will come. At this point of time, we can't envision it. So that is what is all about when you bring in innovative technology. Also at the same time, what is the other need for it? Advent of technologies is absolutely inevitable, because the country which uses better technology will be able to produce things better in a cheaper manner, and those products will sell more than us. And for a nation, it's not possible to be number two. So it's very important that we always have this technology leadership vis-a-vis other nations. And as you know, more than 50% of the CMM level 5 IT companies in the world are Indian. So we control the knowledge industry, and it's very important that we move from here, from services to products and into the technological lead. so that we dictate terms like the latest cars which is coming, Tesla for that matter. Is Tesla a automobile company? It is going to be it is already overtaken Toyota in market capitalization. People should know that Tesla, which started a couple of years back, is already the number one automobile maker, car maker in the world. And it's all because of techniques. Is Tesla a car maker or a software company, or both combined? So innovation makes all the difference, and therefore we have to be leader in that. A second part of innovation is that today we all use 4G. We don't get 2G phones. Now you say that I will not use 5G, I'm happy with 4G. You will be shutting off yourself from the rest of the world. So advent of technology is inevitable. We all will have to use mobile, we'll all have to use 5G. But the ability to be the leader and to manage the technology and to create products for the rest of the world is the most important part of it. And from that perspective, this seminar will be of use. My aim is to open your eyes, to give all this gyan, is to open your eyes to the fact that we need to seize the technological initiative and move forward. Okay, coming specifically to, like I said, supply creates its own demand. No, coming specifically to what I wanted to...
you will have Q1 in artificial intelligence, the top journals, if you have 50 journals related to this artificial intelligence listed by SCR, then you can say the first quarter is the top journals, which will have a high impact. So the most prestigious journals within a subject area are those occupying.
What is this? Okay, fine. Did anybody interfere? Can you hear me now? There was somebody talking, so that's why okay. Okay. So I thought it was a question, but anyway. So let me come back to see what it comes is enhanced mobile broadband, ultra reliable low latency communications, and massive machine type of communication. Now, if you see this triangle very clearly, so you have on one side enhanced mobile broadband right on top. What it gives you is excellent HD high definition. We will soon be moving to probably video calling and things like that. If you come right down, there is 3D video, UHD screens. Gaming is a major thing. Gaming industry, India is growing up in a big way. Augmented reality, which I showed just now, what South Korean Telecom is demonstrated in a massive stadium. Industry automation. These are the places where low latency and ultra reliability come in. Self-driving car, you cannot afford to have even a split second and then there will be an accident. So low latency, like less than a millisecond, makes a difference. And all those mission critical applications, factory automation, all of them which requires low latency. See, cloud computing is one area where it's, let me just give you an example. Kochi smart city is 100% of the cloud. The integrated command control center is 100% of the cloud. But it will perform even better when 5G comes in. Okay, so we are already there into cloud computing and edge computing. The last mile connectivity is, again, today is optical fiber. You have FTTH home, fiber to home today. But when you have 5G technology, that last mile connectivity may be using 5G. So slowly, the Wi-Fi is slowly becoming extinct and 5G is going to come in. The last mile connectivity will be using 5G, but the optical fiber backbone probably will become a bigger pie because more concurrent users, more data. Coming to the left, the massive machine type coming. This is where the smart city will require the 5G, and it's very important that all your IoTs need to get connected and to the integrated command and control center for decision support, for analysis, and for directions to be passed to the people who are consuming it. Moving up, like I said, your communication will become OS. There are smart homes which will also get connected, like the surveillance system in this case, which I talked about in the smart city. You have a lot of crowdsourcing for the surveillance system. The cameras which are going to be connected in your apartment will also get connected to the cloud-based surveillance system. So for a smart city perspective, yes, on the left-hand side corner, but also 5G brings in makes the city even more smarter and makes it more competitive when the experience of the 5G to the citizens is enhanced and further the city becomes more and more competitive. We should also be proud of one interesting factor, which I picked it up from the recent. We all know that India is #1 in mobile data consumption today on a per capita basis, okay? And this is 11 GB, nothing, nobody else but Ericsson. I picked it up from the Ericsson news. And he predicts that by 2025, 25 GB per month, so it'll probably double or more than that in due course of time. And it is driven by affordable mobile broadband. So you'll also know that the mobile broadband has become much, much cheaper in India vis-a-vis the rest of the world. That's also one of the telecom infrastructure which has come up. And I'm sure the smart cities will further augment by creating this great 5G infrastructure. Now let's look at the importance of 5G for smart city, which I've already explained to some extent. The most important factor for a city to create its smart solutions is that you need to have a robust networking infrastructure, and nothing better than having a 5G infrastructure, because then only the IoTs can get connected. Because there is no doubt the 4G also facilitate, and you also have some of the cities have good LoRa network, but a 5G network is the need of the hour, and the smart cities will require that robust networking infrastructure, 5G for the last mile and for enhanced mobile broadband and for all those facilities, the three things which I mentioned, besides a very sturdy and high volume, high capacity optical fiber backbone. So this two combined together will make the 5G infrastructure. And of course, you need to have smart poles too. I'll be talking about the smart poles at the end of this session. Okay. Now, I've already explained this, the 5G features, but one of the most important thing is 1 million IoTs per kilometer square. This is, and another feature which is that today, when you are going in a high-speed train, you may not be able to browse. When you're going in the car is traveling at a high speed, you're unable to browse and the quality goes down. This can take up to 500 kilometers per hour relative speed. And there is an energy reduction of this. I'll talk about it a little later. It's more by design and also by technology, but a lot by design. Where the small cells will come in and the interset distance between your mobile and the pole will reduce drastically. So, okay. And network availability is very. How many of us have experienced call drops while calling? There are many. So all these call drops will drastically reduce 100% coverage and all those things. Okay, let's move on to. I've already explained the various use cases, but let me go over it a little more in detail. See, massive machine type communication on the right side is what is going to make the smart city immediate requirements viable. You need to collect all your IoTs. But in due course of time, you will have self-driving cars and telemedicine, doing remote surgery and factory automation on all of this. Now, people would say that there is, are we going to have driverless car? Is the drivers going to lose their jobs? The fact of the matter is, if you want to be competitive, we go to move into the next league. And in case of driverless cars, there is no doubt that tomorrow if the Uber is going to try driverless cars. There will be no driver. It will just you use the Uber application. It will come to you without a driver, and that's fantastic transportation. And that's a kind of multimodal transportation which you are actually looking at. Of course, not using car, but probably the last few kilometers you'll have to transport the person in a car. Similarly, there will be drones which will be operating. So all these are going to be using, ultra low reliability, ultra low latency, and high reliable communication network. I've already talked. Okay, let's move on to some of the important smart city solutions. I will not be explaining all of them, but some of the important ones. In the first session, I talked about the smart water management and the waste management to some extent. But in this, I will cover some of the smart solutions which are very, very critical, not only just for the primary infrastructure, but also for running the city efficient. Believe me, the first city is Barcelona, smart city Barcelona, may have around 50 different applications. And what is applicable in Europe scenario would be different vis-a-vis what is required in current Indian scenario. I told about the integrated command and control center. The first and probably the only command and control center in the cloud is the Kochi Smart City. It was inaugurated by the Chief Minister. Some of them have hybrid model. They have the disaster recovery center on. This is 100% of the cloud, and most of the applications in the smart city, including the surveillance system, the water management, all of them are going to be on the cloud. Now, cloud computing is not possible without 5G. It's a last election campaign, which was election monitoring was done from Delhi, where all election booths and all those things were monitored using cameras, and most of them connected through 4G. Not very good, but 3G and 4G, not through optical fiber network. And the cameras used to be there in the command and control center. That is, I don't know whether it's Azure or Amazon. Around 150,000 cameras were being monitored. That is happening already in India. Now imagine how will it be when 5G comes in. The quality of data will be more. The facial recognition, the video analytics, the automatic number plate recognition, your various analytics which we run, all of them are going to be on the cloud. So it has to be probably instantaneous. And this kind of instantaneous technology communication is only possible in a 5G network. So your environment systems, your automatic number plate recognition, red light violation, then intelligent traffic management system, your lighting, your solid waste management, your solar rooftop connectivity and its monitoring, etc., your multimodal transport system, your e-municipality, all of them are going to get connected to the integrated command and control center. And unless this command and control center has a very good connectivity, and all of this use extensively IoTs. So all of them, let's say the environment sensors, all IoTs, NPI, all of them are IoTs. So all these IoTs are getting connected to the command and control center. So integrated command and control center is one of the most important user of IoTs and 5G. Of course, as a customer, you're going to have a mobile app. Now, if you want to do HD video, if you want to communicate something, you need to have a very good connectivity. Your enhanced mobile broadband, you'll be browsing effectively only if you have a 5G. You should understand that Wi-Fi is slowly, Wi-Fi Max, Wi-Fi 6 version is slowly getting extinct, because today when you go in an airport, do you really look at the Wi-Fi facility which has been provided at the airport? No, we use a 4G. So Wi-Fi is slowly giving away to 4G and 5G. So in any case, for the low-level connectivity, we have the LoRa. But for the high-level connectivity, for a smart city requirement, you generally find that 5G and LoRa should be the network in the future, besides a big optical fiber network backbone. Okay, let's go to the integrated solid waste management. I give some information in the previous one, but let me elaborate once again. See, the vehicles are going to get the ones who's going to go around and collect the waste from the city. Now, all of them have to be connected to the centralized system where we can monitor. It has to be connected to the mobile app. The citizen will be able to monitor and efficiently move out without wasting their time. And it has to be connected to the bins as well. And only if you just get connected to the bins, that you would know which one is getting off, and then you'll be able to. So the vehicle tracking management system is a very very effective way of, again, use of IoTs and GIS and GPS for monitoring and controlling and optimizing the collection part of it. Of course, the disposal part is different. It is a different technology altogether, composting, etc., etc. I'm not covering that part of it. I'm talking about the collection part of the collection and disposal part of it. Smart lighting, another area where the IoTs play a major role. Most of the cities today, they switch on the light in the evening, switch off so much of energy waste. A smart lighting system can reduce the consumption of energy towards lighting of a city by almost 60%. One, of course, you convert everything into LED. Second, you have a lighting management system which ensure that only during the peak hours the lights come on. The rest of the time, dimming takes place. And in some places, alternate lights are switched off. But when a car or a mobile or a human being moves, automatically the intelligent motion sensors will detect a movement and communicate. The centralized system will ensure that the lights come on, and after a delay, all intelligently done, the lights will go off again. So an optimal lighting system is very critical, not just for conserving energy, but ensuring that the light is there when you want, and the rest of the time you're conserving energy. Okay, let's look at the smart grid. Yeah, power consumption and its monitoring is very critical. You have multiple sources which is providing you power. You have the nuclear power, your hydel power, your windmill, the solar rooftop panels which you have in your house. Now you generate power, you have a net metering, it goes into the system, and you can recall those power whenever you want it. So this way, probably the city can generate its own power. The modern cities like Barcelona, they have optimized the power consumption using all these facilities. They optimize the water consumption. All these things have been possible because there is an integrated smart grid. It's also is an extensive use of IoTs, where there are smart meters which will monitor the kind of consumption, where the grid. Recently in Mumbai, you had power failure, the grid had failed. So this all can be prevented to a great extent if you have information flowing effectively from the connected IoTs, which will sense danger and rush in to ensure that plug in the challenges immediately. Smart parking. It is said that 40% of the traffic congestion in the roads, 40% of the traffic congestion in the roads, especially in the cities, is because of the vehicles which are trying to find a place for parking. Now imagine if you know exactly where to go and park. Your mobile app will give you that information, and that is what is enabled by a smart parking system. Your parking spaces are correctly monitored by sensors. Again, IoT is there. You have a mobile app which will give you exactly the condition of the traffic, and also the places. You can use that mobile app to pre-book and prepay your parking slot. Once you go there, you can prepay for a particular amount of time. You will get a message. It's already there in a couple of cities like Dubai and Singapore, etc. And in Bangalore, they are trialed out. We also did a trial here. It is available on a software as a service model, and it gives you a lot of guidance, and you're able to optimize your parking. You get your information correct time. You get your so that you don't waste looking for a parking. At the same time, you do a prepaid system. The parking places, especially on a road, is premium place. You should have a parking place available when you want it, and you should be it should become empty. It should be optimally managed so that and that optimal management is done through a smart parking system, and for a citizen perspective, you have your mobile app as your guidance. Okay. Another important application I mentioned is the city surveillance system. Now, city surveillance system is one area where intensive use of IoTs and 5G is going to be very high, because you're talking about cloud-based video analysis, and you have your surveillance cameras. The surveillance cameras are going to beam high bandwidth video. The video management system will go into the cloud data center where the video analysis take place. Video surveillance as a service is what I mentioned. And all this artificial intelligence, big data analysis is going to take place at the, and then it is further communicated to the city surveillance center. At the same time, it is also communicated to the people who are taking the actions. Now, for example, if there is a theft taking place in a building, so that particular activity is monitored. If there is a camera there, it is monitored and beaming straight away into the video surveillance system in the cloud. There is a police station which is nearby. It will quickly give indication that this is the nearest police station, the nearest mobile patrol which is there. They all will be able to see this activity. They all will be able to see this stream of video in real time. And that is a real-time monitoring which is possible. The vehicles will have automatic number plate recognition. And this automatic number plate recognition will also ensure that the vehicles and everything is monitored, and the also facial recognition which is possible. The video analysis will give you the kind of challenges. If there is a crowd which is gathered there, if there is some smoke there, fire there, all of them would be done through the video analysis. So through this system, we have a very effective city surveillance system which is going to be functioning, all made possible by IoT and 5G. Okay. Now, how can we implement 5G in a smart city scenario? It is going to be very costly. How can we surmount this problem? Do you have the cost wherewithal to implement this system? Okay, as you see, the number of as a 5G as it moves from 2G to 5G, you would find the bandwidth has obviously reduced, and it is 2.24 hertz to 40 hertz is a high frequency area. Now, higher the frequency, higher the speed, all right, but lower the coverage, which means that the intercept distance between the cells will drastically reduce. How do you solve that problem? Can you create so many infrastructure, so many poles, so many mobile infrastructure all over the city? We have to find a solution to it, and for that we came to this interesting thing known as intelligent street pole. Now, what is this intelligent street pole? In some of the cities, they found that this small cells can be set up on top of, they can replace the existing the street lights. In place of a street light, probably every 10 street light or so, you can replace that with a smart pole. And when you create a smart pole, it can hold much more. So you're replacing the lights, so you need to have the street light facility. You can put, of course, the telecom equipment, your small cell, the 5G small cell need to be put there. You may also use for Wi-Fi AP. You can put your environmental sensors there. You can have a billboard. You can have a public addressal system, and all of them can be. You can have a camera there. So all of them can be built into a single integrated system known as intelligent street pole. And that can come in place of a street light. So you found a place by replacing a street light. It does a function of a street light, but it's also loaded with many more features. And onto this, you load your telecom infrastructure. And that is a concept of a smart pole. Many cities in the world have done it. First one to do was in New York. And in India, this was done in Delhi. It is done in Vadodara. And both these places, they have got a smart poles. Obviously, the 5G has not come in there. They are using the 4G. But it has been done on a PPP model, public-private participation model. That means a single concessionaire. When I talk about a single concessionaire, is IP1, infrastructure provider one. For example, in your next neighborhood, you would have a telephone tower. You will find that that same telephone tower is being used, but not by just one person, one telecom provider. You will have, let's say, Indus Towers have created a tower there. You will have the Reliance also using there, the Airtel also using there, the BSN also using there, Vodafone also using there. So such a tower sharing philosophy is still, as per that TRI rules, is possible. So you use the tower sharing philosophy, but a single concessionaire can build it for the entire city on a PPP model, public-private participation model. And therefore, the money will come in from the infrastructure provider. And so, why? Because a city like, let's say, Kochi has got, let's say, 1.5 million, 15 lakh people. So all those 15 lakh people are going to use multiple facilities. They are going to be an asset. If you use this smart pole facility and provide services, it will generate income. So the infrastructure provider will automatically generate income by selling the tower facility to the telecom provider, to the people who are going to use this, to the city which is going to use the public billboard for advertisement, for public addressal system. It's at the same time, you're also using that facility for your surveillance, you're monitoring your environment, you're also for your lighting. So there is monetization possible, and where there is monetization possible, public-private participation is a viable option. With this concept, you can easily create smart poles or in a city, and it will be aesthetically, it looks beautiful. Instead of one tower looking on other direction, other looking like a monster, you can create sleek towers like this. This is a prototype which we did in Indore. They are still in the making of concessionaire, and the agreements are all that. This was just a prototype which was done. It is an Ericsson pole which we tried, and see how beautiful it looks. It's very sleek, and on the nearby there are unmounted towers and wires. Don't look at that. But if you look at the sleek pole, it has on the upper dome the telecom infrastructure. You can see a camera there. You can see the lights there. So this is how a smart pole will look, and all of them will come on a PPP model. It is very, very nicely done in Rajiv Chowk in Delhi. If you ever happen to come here, you can see those smart poles very nicely implemented. Some other cities also doing it, and we can do it even in a 5G, 4G scenario, with the caveat that as you migrate into 5G, you have to upgrade your system, and the same system will be used, but instead of 4G cells, it will be the 5G cells. Okay, so I've generally come to the end of it, but I also want to mention one minute. There is scope for other network also in a smart city scenario. 5G is not the only one, because the smart meters, 5G consumes much more power than LoRa network. So you need to take care of this kind of smart meters, which will be functioning for probably 10 years, 15 years. And those would require the LoRa network, so I would say that it's a LoRa and the 5G which is going to hop the future of the smart city with the existing technology. That is what I feel. And some other cities have LoRa network. Again, Kochi is fortunate to have a LoRa network implemented. I'm sure Coimbatore also may be having. I'm not too sure about it, but my most important thought for every one of you is that technology is certainly going to come. Advantage of technology is inevitable. We need to be a leader. We need to create our smart cities, taking into consideration the best of technologies so that the cities become competitive and invite business, make the travel be efficient, the waste management, the water management, everything become efficient. So the concept of smart city surrounded on a 5G infrastructure is going to be the future. Let us have that future in India much before other countries. That should be our focus. Our Honorable Prime Minister has taken a lead by creating this 100 smart cities concept. We started this in 2016. It's for every citizen, every employee, every government official, private and the private enterprises to think in those directions and make it successful. We've got 4,000 cities in India today, 4,000 cities, 4,000 plus cities. This 100 is just a light beacon, but whatever we try there, whatever we understand, all this, and through these great programs which you're conducting, this knowledge will spread, and let us do this in all the 4,000 cities. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm very happy to take on. Yeah.